Okay, so we're going to fire up the new Cadac Entertainer BBQ for the first time. We're not going to do anything spectacular on it as far as cooking. We're going to just do a few kebabs, a couple of burgers, just to fire it up and see how it goes. But just a quick tip, in the bottom underneath the burners there is a tray, and let me show you from behind. The tray slides in from behind and catches all the drips and the fat and everything else. Just a quick tip, stick some tin foil on it because it helps keep it clean, but also because the way it slides in, make sure the foil doesn't come over these edges, otherwise it all sort of gathers up and then stops it from going in. And then all you need to do is just slide that in, and I'll show you from the front. I'll take some of these burner covers out so you can see what we mean, and then just slide that in gently. There you go, well done Mrs T. Posh, that's right, pop that in. So what you can see is any drips that come from that grill are going to fall onto that foil, and that is really, really going to help keep your barbecue nice and clean. These go over the top of the burners, so that stops the burners getting dirty. These are your grills. Sit quite nicely there. Got a big one that comes up around here, and another one that goes in there. So that's your grills on the top. These are all non-stick, but, and this is a big thing, you still have to clean these, but we like to use barbecue mats. And what we do is we stick a barbecue grill mat on the top there. You still get the same effect from the barbecue. It just means that you keep everything nice and clean. So all we do is we just place...
This one comes with extra bits.
You get tongs with it as well.
Yeah, and a little pasting brush.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. So what we do is we place one of those mats on there when we barbecue, which keeps everything just a little bit cleaner.
And don't forget as well, that can be washed.
Yes, yeah, that just washes in nice, warm, soapy water, and you can use it
Over and over again.
Use it over and over again. Another quick thing, we've got the gas in there now. You can see our little gas cylinder. It's all plumbed in and plugged in, which is really, really good. And then to turn the barbecue on, it is so simple. Can we have some peace and quiet here so we can actually hear it?
So I'm interfering?
No, you're not. No, you can actually stand there, but be quiet.
Okay.
Okay. This has a self-ignition. You can hear it. Okay. And when that sort of the gas comes through and it heats up, you'll hear it sort of actually take hold. So push it in to let the gas in. Turn it. And you'll...
Oh.
There we go. We're ignited. So we'll do the second one then. That went straight away, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
So there we are, nice and warm. We're on full blast. You can obviously control the gas. Go down a little lower or back up to a maximum there. And you've got that control on all the burners. Along here, you've got 2 more burners if you want it. There's only a little bit of barbecue going on today, so we're not going to be using the whole thing. And of course you've got the little burner here on the side as well, that you can put pots, you can do new potatoes on there, you can do barbecue beans, you
corn,
boil sweet corn, lots of things on there. But we're just going to strike it up for the very first time today. That's getting nice and warm.
I can feel it.
And what we're going to do first of all is just put some kebabs on there. Were they lamb kebabs?
Pork, I think.
Pork or lamb kebabs, can't remember. We've just taken them out of the freezer. So we're going to bring them out and pop them on that mat and just start the barbecue off. Okay, so these are some kebabs we've taken out of the freezer.
I can't actually see them, there's too
Can't
much
you?
sunlight in
Is
the
there?
way.
Shall we reposition so we can get out the sun, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, pop that on pause. Okay, so let's go again. These are some kebabs we've taken out the freezer we got from our local butcher. Pop those onto those barbecue mats. There we go. start that cooking. Good thing about having that barbecue mat as well, I don't know if you've ever noticed that sometimes when you barbecue kebabs with wooden sticks, the wooden sticks sometimes start to char and catch fire. At least with the barbecue mat, you still have that same cooking, the same heat, the induction, everything else, but you don't start to get these sticks start to get charred and catch fire. So we'll leave those on there. We're on full flame at the moment on the Cadac Entertainer, and we'll come back in about 4 or 5 minutes just to see how things are going. Okay, what I've actually done now is I've put the lid of the barbecue down, and what that has done is obviously creating an oven inside which helps cook things a lot quicker. But I just want to give you all a word of warning. Now look at the control here. You can see on there, I can just zoom in on that. That's already going up to 150 degrees. Now that's obviously climbing all the time. That's just gone up 2 while I've been filming this. Now that is like a normal oven that you have in your house. To touch this, it's very hot. To touch the sides, it's even hotter. And to touch the back, well, you know, I really wouldn't want to touch that. What I'm trying to say to you is if you've got a family barbecue, make sure that all the kids stay away, or this is up against a wall or up against a fence, just to make sure that no little hands come along and touch. Certainly the front they can't, because you'll be sitting here cooking, but the back and the sides you could do, and that could be quite disastrous. Again, let's just look at that. You can see how much that has actually gone up since we've been recording just this segment, so you can see that climbing.
God, it smells good.
It does smell good, but be careful. It gets very, very hot, so just a word of warning there. So, because this is in the oven, it's going to cook a lot quicker, so let's just have a look and see what's going on here. Oh, that smell is amazing. So let's just take those, turn them over. You can see, can you zoom in there?
Yeah.
You can actually see how that's starting to brown there. Let's just take that one over.
And it's not going to make the bit underneath
No,
dirty.
because these barbecue mats really are fantastic.
Yeah.
They do such a brilliant job. So we're going to bring the lid down. We're going to give that another 5 minutes, and we'll come back to you again and see what things look like. Right, here we are about 3 or 4 minutes later, and you can see this gauge is still actually rising, and it's starting to come up to 200. Now don't forget, down here on the controls, we've only got 2 burners on the go. The other 2 burners are off. So it doesn't need a lot to bring this oven up to 200 degrees.
So even if you haven't got it cooking underneath it, you can use it as a complete
So
oven.
I mean, it's like we could use this as doing a bit of baking, and I'm sure we'll bring some exciting
Can you cook
baking.
cakes in there?
Well, we're going to try it, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're going to try and do
yeah.
muffins in there. We've got to try the croissants again
Yeah,
and
we
see
have,
what
yeah,
disasters
yeah.
we bring up. But here you go. See, look, it's nearly there. It's nearly at that 200
I want to
again.
see a souffle.
Okay, so obviously you can bring that temperature down by reducing these if you want to, but just be careful if you're using it so it's coming up. And also be careful when you open it, because it is like opening an oven inside. It does get hot.
Listen. You can hear them.
You can see them sizzling as well. So let's just take that off again and give that another turn, because we need to make sure.
You see all the marks as well, like you would normally have at a barbecue.
Exactly. Yeah, look at that. And the smell is amazing.
Well, that's also tantamount to our local butcher with the marinades.
Yes, yeah, fabulous. So we'll give that another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll come back and give it another turn, and then see how we get on. So that's another 3 minutes.
Yeah, must be 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. We're back up to 200 here again. Don't forget, this is very hot, so don't touch it, and make sure others don't. Give the lid, stand back, because you get that oven effect coming through. and then just give them that turn again.
Oh, they look lovely.
You can see they're really nice. These are quite warm to touch, the sticks, but as I said
they are.
earlier, they're not burning like you would get that on a normal barbecue because we've got that mat that actually protects us from that heat. Okay, so let's leave that for another 3 or 4 minutes, and I think because not only have you got the heat from the barbecue, but because it is an oven, it just cooks things a little quicker without burning
So
it.
you're not going to get flame grilled or anything on this?
Well, if you want to, you can get a flame grill. The best way to get a flame grill sort of burger on here, if you want that sort of chardy, flamey, grilly effect, would be not to use this barbecue.
But it's a hell of a lot more clean, isn't it?
But it's a lot cleaner. We've got double bubble here. We've got the barbecue mat that's stopping that grill from getting dirty.
Yeah.
And we've got that foil on that
Yeah,
base
yeah.
that stops that dripping through
Quite
as well.
frankly, anything to make. And this is getting hot actually, really holding this.
Okay,
so, yeah.
all right then. So we'll give it another 3 or 4 minutes and we'll come back. Okay, another sort of 3 or 4 minutes. Let's just open that up, stand back.
Oh, you can actually see
You can
this
see,
underneath.
yep, and I think they are cooked. So let's just take one of those off and just have a look to see how that looks. Obviously you've got some pork here, you've got a little bit of pepper on there. Just going to open that piece up.
Oh, look at that.
Looks nice.
Oh, it's the marinade that makes it look pink then, isn't it? Because I did worry about that. But it's sort
They
of...
are lovely and tender. So I'm going to take those off. That's a real Chinese marinade in there from
Is
a
it?
local butcher. Now, while we're going to chomp away on those, I've got some really nice. These aren't from the butcher. These are Tesco Finest burgers. So I'm going to pop one of those on there. Pop that on there. We're going to bring that lid down so we get a nice even cook through that. We're going to go and eat our kebabs, and then we'll come back here in about 5 minutes.
Are you turning that down at all?
No, I'm going to leave that as it is.
Okay.
Because I think that temperature looks good, and we're going to eat these and be back in 5 minutes.
Excellent.
So 5 minutes later, no kebabs left.
And they were lovely.
And they were lovely. They were Chinese style pork kebabs. And you saw how quickly we cooked them on here. And the reason why they cooked so quickly was because you've got that oven facility here. So burgers have been on now for 5 minutes. You can see we've gone over 200 degrees. Let's just pull back. Okay. And let's just turn those over. As you can see, they're starting. You can see, look, how that's bubbling. You can see how that fat's coming out the burgers, but you can also see how it's all contained on that mat, so it's not going onto that griddle. That doesn't mean that there's a few splashes going on, because that will inevitably happen. But you have got a lot of the mess contained on those barbecue mats. Turn that over. Let's leave that on there for another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll come back to that again very, very soon. Now what I'm going to do, since I've turned those burgers over, this temperature gauge is still rising, but because they are burgers and they're a bit fattier, I'm just going to turn this down almost 2/3 just to reduce that heat, okay? Just to make sure that we don't get sort of too hot in there, because we can't cook these too quickly. We need to make sure that the middle of these burgers get well cooked. So just a little hint, after a couple of minutes I've just turned those gauges down by 2/3, and then we'll come back again in another couple of minutes. Now you can see, even by turning that down by 2/3, that temperature has still gone over the 200, so that's not a bad thing. Perhaps that means we could bring those down right down low just to keep that temperature. Let's open that up, stand back.
Whoa!
Nice lot of heat. Turn those over again. They're really looking good. You can still see they're juicy. You can still see there's no overflow on that mat into the actual barbecue itself, which is really nice. And yeah, we'll give those another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, right, here we are, 3 minutes later. Because we've turned them down now, right down low,
God, it smells good.
this is kicking in at about 180, which is really good. I think that's sort of a good oven temperature. Let's stand back, open up. There's our burgers. nicely sizzling away, no flames, nothing else going on. I think we're ready to roll.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn the gas off completely on both. That's all shut off now. Now, when it comes to constructing a burger, I'm a simple man. I think it's fair to say. Okay. So here we go.
Hang on.
I'm going to just a little bit of lettuce on my burger.
All that
burger
lettuce
bun.
is yours. I don't want lettuce.
All that lettuce is mine.
Yep.
Gosh, I can fill myself up on lettuce. Right, there's my lettuce.
Do you normally put your you normally put your helmets on that side as well?
Excuse me. Oh yes, I do. Oh,
Sorry.
God. See, she's been telling me how simple I really
This is
am.
why I taught you how
Little
to
bit of
enjoy
Hellmann's.
burgers.
There we
Taught
are.
you how to enjoy burgers.
A little bit of Hellmann's.
Mhm.
Obviously, you can construct your own burger.
No, but this is how we do
Right,
it.
there's a little bit of a burger going on the top there.
Mhm.
That's really nice. And then I love
Hang on a second.
a good bit of onion sitting there. Okay, just like that. And then a bit of a shake and a squirt of the old tomato ketchup. That is my Tin Tenter simple burger. Everybody has it the way they like it. That's the way I like it. It's been cooked on a Cadac Entertainer. Now look, I know this has been basic barbecue, but what I've tried to show you there is the fact that we can use the barbecue mat, we use the tin foil, we can use the oven, be careful how hot it gets, and we can progress now onto doing better things on the Cadac Entertainer. That's my simple burger. If you found that of interest, please give me a thumbs up. Either way, left or right, whichever you want. And also, hit that red button and subscribe, because
my
the
tomatoes.
more you subscribe, the more of these things we can bring you. What we're trying to do next week, we want to bring you 3 chickens on a rotisserie here.
Oh, that's coming.
With roast potatoes. That's what's coming next, so look out for that video. But in the meantime, I'm getting stuck into that. Mrs. T is going to make hers, but she's going really daring. She's having tomatoes in hers.
Tomatoes, yeah.
And that's it. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.